Again, we talked about the investor's dilemma. The reason a lot of us don't scale is because we're not good at running a business. So we're going to talk about now how to get good at running a business, how to get good at managing, hiring, leading, delegating, all of those things. So the first thing is what separates rookies from pros, how to create a blue ocean. This business is very competitive. There's a lot of people in it. I'm not going to lie about that. Everyone knows a bunch of agents, but the blue ocean part of it, where you don't have competition, is you actually learn how to run a business. There's a lot of house flippers. There's not a lot of house flippers that know how to run a business. There's a lot of wholesalers. There's not a lot of wholesalers that know how to run a team. So the way you create a blue ocean for yourself and really have no competition is by doing everything we're talking about, doing the little things, having a sales process framework, having all the resources and SOPs. Those are the things that separate you. And if you're not learning how to build a business, you're really just building yourself a prison that you're never gonna be able to get off of, right? If you're not finding ways to create leverage, have people do the work for you, build a machine, you are building a prison for yourself. Shiny object syndrome is another killer, absolute killer. That I don't want any of you guys to fall victim to if I can help it, which means jumping from thing to thing. You should be more focused on building a business. And yeah, it's much harder, but it pays off. Again, like I talked about earlier, you can get rich doing real estate deals. You only get wealthy by building a machine that does real estate deals. And then people scale faster than anything. So if you guys are looking at how do I scale my business, my biggest jumps in business that have taken me from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 7. This year, my company is across the board to do about 10 million in revenue across my businesses. Is people, having really good people that are smart, capable, talented, and better than you. And understanding too, with delegation, a lot of us don't want to delegate because we don't think people can do a better job than us. But having someone do one task in your business 100% of the time at 60% of your capability is 100% better than you doing it. Because one, if that's their sole responsibility, eventually they're going to get better than you at it. And that way you're not doing 8 different things. So bringing in a salesperson is not as good as you, and they're not going to be at first a lot of the time, but is even 60% as good as you. That's all they focus on is more valuable to your company than you doing that 2 hours per day. And that's how I always think about it is, hey, who can solve this problem for me? Not how can I solve this problem? As I've set up this new business, I didn't say, hey, how can I go do sales? I said, hey, how can I go build an amazing sales team off the jump that can accelerate my goals based on my assumptions? How can I get leads there? And instead of saying, hey, how can I bang my head against the wall to create leads? Who can I hire? Who can I pay? Is send me leads so I can focus on sales and making money. That's what matters. So who, not how. Proper meetings, you guys. If you guys have a team, level 10 meetings, it's how you have company meetings, how you have one-on-one meetings, it's how you manage your team. It's how you have it's how you manage your cash flow. A lot of businesses go out of business because they just don't manage cash flow well. Those are the boring things that separate you and create a blue ocean. If you learn how to manage your cash flow, how to manage a team, how to onboard and train, you will win. And that's what this whole thing is built around. That's the difference between a rookie and a pro investor. That's it. Learning how to build a business. If you're at 3 to 5 deals per month, learning what to implement to start building a business, to tracking your KPIs, to building an org chart, to having good meetings, those are the things that allow you to build a business. And every single person in here, if you focus on that, that's one thing you take from today. Instead of just falling in love with real estate, you can get wealthy instead of just temporarily rich by doing deals. So core values are not something you put on a wall or you put on a Google Doc. They're lived. And the biggest way you create core values in your company is with boundaries and set points. And when someone violates a core value, you have to ask yourself, is that a boundary or a set point? Is that someone doing something out of character one time, or is that actually who they are? And you got to get rid of people. And hire slow and fire fast is so true. I truly believe the right time to fire someone is the first time you think about it. Hiring an employees is one of those things that's a muscle you have to build. It takes time. You're going to go through a lot of bad hires. I've been through a lot of bad situations with employees. It's one of those things, again, like everything we talked about today, it just comes down to reps. Delegation versus abdication. Okay, a big thing I want you guys to focus on. A lot of you guys talk to me or you join school and you say, hey, Cole, I tried to hire someone and it didn't work out. It didn't go well. And my question and my response to them is also, well, talk me through how you're working with them. They say, well, I hired them, I told them what to do, and a month later I checked in on them and they didn't do it. That's abdication. Delegation is you hire someone, you clearly define what success looks like for them. So what outcomes for that position are you actually attributing to success? And then how are you going to know they are successful? Same thing for attributes. What attributes actually dictate success and how are you going to know that they have those attributes? So you have to set, define, and communicate to your employee what those looks like. Otherwise, you are abdicating, not delegating. And the second piece of that is you actually have to, once you delegate something, you have to check in on them. You have to trust but verify. You have to get on a one-on-one with them each week and measure against those outputs. If the output was you want them clearing your email inbox every single day and you meet with them each Wednesday, and you have the KPI that they only did that 5 out of the last 7 days, you got to talk to them and coach them against that output. And that is how you properly delegate without having to micromanage. Building your overseas army, you guys, a lot of you guys, where you could probably delegate 80 to 90% of the things on your plate to people overseas. One of our best sales guys ever lived in Venezuela. Most of our admin leadership team lives overseas around the world. For $5, $6, $7, $10 an hour, you guys can build an amazing team. There's no excuse to not start delegating and buying your time back. And then hire based on your constraints and calendars, right? So a lot of you guys, you're saying, oh, I don't know who to hire. Look at your calendar, right? Look at your calendar. And an exercise I love is the time audit, where you track your time in 30-minute increments for 2 weeks. And then your calendar will tell you who to hire. If you're spending 4 hours a day on admin work, your CRM, your list polling, your skip tracing, it's time to hire admin assistant. If you're inundated with leads and you have so many leads you can't handle it, and your calendar all day is talking to sellers, it's time to hire a salesperson or a lead manager. So your calendar will tell you who to hire. This is my number one thing. When I'm asking myself if it's time to fire someone or move on, I go through the neutrality test, which is what I feel. If this person quit today, would I feel sad, neutral, or happy if someone left today? And if you answer that either neutral or happy, it's probably time for them to go. If you answer that sad, that's how you know they're a rock star employee. So I asked that about myself, about my whole team all the time. And I made a lot of hard decisions this year on that with people that I love. But I was like, I mean, honestly, I'd be a little relieved if they left. I'd be a little happy if they left. And that tells me a lot of times that it's time. And then long-term vision, escape velocity, you guys, what can this business be, right? What are we building? If you build in reverse, like I showed you guys today, breaking down the numbers, breaking down each department, creating systems, creating a team around that, it can really be a dream, not a prison. You know, I've done hundreds of deals off market, never done a deal off the MLS. A lot of those deals, I haven't talked to sellers in a long time. I haven't had to talk to a title and escrow company in a long time. You can hire out and buy your time back and build a machine. So I think it's incredibly valuable for you guys to really, really build in reverse as you guys build your business, and not just do deals to do deals. That can get you in trouble.